how much should I be investing in my own personal training? But I think
Oh,
there's a bigger question there that you probably would answer.
yeah. Wow. Okay. So let me repeat the question. How much should you be investing in your own personal training? I have found out, now I've been investing since I'm 15 years old in my own personal training. I don't know if anybody else been a martial artist, but I've been a martial artist for over 40 years now. I've been on my own since I'm 15, so I've been paying for my own martial arts education since I'm 15 years old. And once I found out, now when I started business and I started electrical contracting business, I was really what you would call just a blue collar tradesperson. I thought the winner of the game was the person in my world, which was electrical. The person who was the best at the code book was the champion, right? The person who knew how to wire the building the best was the champion. And it was only until I found out that I needed to learn completely different than the way I was learning. I needed to find, and this was the first thing, I went to visit a company. And when I was still working in the field, and this is a good story for you guys to really listen deeply to, I was still wiring homes and I went to visit a company, and this company was so impressive. They were amazing. Their shop was clean. It was another electrical company. It was huge. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But there was one big difference. Justin, I was an electrician and he was a business owner. And that was a critical difference in thinking from being an electrician to being a business owner. Once I figured that out, I started to invest in myself because I learned that I didn't know marketing, I didn't know sales, I didn't know operations. I mean, I was selling stuff and doing jobs, but I did it as a like kind of like a hobbyist and not as a master. As soon as I started to see that investing more in myself started to move me forward, it showed up the next thing. The next thing that showed up is I was investing in myself and not enough in my people. Now, I'm going to share a number with you, and it's probably going to freak you out. And a lot of you may not even believe it if you're new in my world. But, this year alone, we'll probably end up investing about, I don't know, 350,000 in our own education between me, my partner, my wife, our team, my son. And some of you are like, that's absurd. But when I look back, and you guys tell me in the chat bar, I've invested now in my own training. It's not about me. I'm going to make a point on what I think you should think about. I've invested over 5 million in my own training. Now, 5 million sounds like a lot of money, but is it compared to 500 million? Tell me in the chat bar. 5 million to 500 million, it's nothing. Now, if I told you, give me 5 million and I'll give you 500 million, you would do what? Every single thing in your power. So the next thing I figured is that when you're a small company and want to grow fast, you should be investing about 20% into education. And education today, see, years ago it was different. I had partners in a lot of business. I have a partners, Aaron and my wife are partners in Food Dog together. We're all equal owners in Food Dog. And back throughout the ages, if you didn't want to feel alone anymore, you needed a partner, right? But now you have coaches and consultants and mentors and stuff. You don't need a partner if you don't want, because you could hire what we call a board of advisors. And most people, I'll give you the critical things I see today. And remember, like now it's got to be pushing thousands of company business owners I worked with. The first thing is they never build it in their budget to invest enough in training. That's number one. Number two, they do things without confirming that it makes sense. And in our world, we build a lot of companies and do a lot of things. And we have like this three-legged stool, Justin, right? One leg of the stool is, does it make sense to us? Do we think we should buy this thing, implement this thing, buy a tool, do this marketing? That's like one leg of the stool. The second leg of the stool is what does our coaches think? Do do they think it makes logical sense? Do they all agree? Now we have I'm losing track. I don't know if we have 6 or 7 coaches right now. We have a coach, we're paying a lot of money just to teach us, Justin, how to write better. So if you look at all my emails that I feel are next level of what I'm writing, it's not because I woke up one day enlightened. I hired someone to make me better. Why? Because I believe if you want to be an Olympian, you have to pay people and you have to engage, right? And I'm a good engager, so I just need to have them give me action and I go to work on it. So that's the second part. Like it has to make sense to us. It has to make sense to the coach. The third one is it has to make sense in timing. Like is it the right time? Because a lot of people are doing right things at the wrong time. And if everybody agrees, but you do the right thing at the wrong time, the stool falls over. If you do it yourself, I get people all the time, they go to these big conventions and stuff, and they find a widget. They find an AI widget, a software thing, and immediately they bite on it. But they don't have the simplistic mastered. They didn't even master the basic of leadership. So bringing in a software system into a shitty leadership team, can you guys agree in the chat bar? That's a bad formula. No, it's a terrible formula to do, right? So I would say most people need to focus on a budget to implement for their growth, a budget, out of that budget, what percentage will be for their team. Now, I'm sharing this over now, creating, I feel like we've created a lot more decamillionaires than most people. They did the physical work. I didn't do the work. We just guided them. But if you look at the secret sauce, at least in my world over the last decade and a half or more, it's been the same thing. Get people to think different. They need a new way of thinking. You cannot give new skill sets with the same level of thinking. And if you think you know all the answers, you know no answers at all. And you keep circling the same struggle loop. But if you change your thinking and your program, and then you put new skill sets in, right? One of the most challenging things for smart people is to say to yourself, is that still smart? I have to check myself all the time. Like, okay, that used to be smart. That marketing vehicle used to be smart. That sales vehicle used to be smart. Is it still smart today? And I have to challenge my own belief system every single day. Every day I have to challenge it. And once you challenge it and you program your mind, which is never done, I haven't figured out how to be done with it because the world's constantly changing. So your thinking's changing. I mean, my kids are growing up. You think different about kids when they're babies than when they're 26 and 23, right? And then the last part is action. But even the world of action has changed. We are in a world, and I'm going to teach a whole section on business power next week on how to be a 24-hour organization. Now, some of you that scares like, how am I going to work 24 hours? No, I'm going to show you how to have your company run through the night while you sleep and help you build it faster and easier than ever. Now, you're going to have to adopt the thinking of it. You're going to have to learn the new skill sets, and you're going to have to just take action on it. But I'm going to show you how to do it for pennies on the dollar. It's not a new thing for us. It's a thing we're doing for a long time, but we mastered a whole new level of it. We have people that when we wake up in the morning, there's projects done, graphics done, social media is done, email analytics are done, numbers, P&L analyzing is done. How many of you would tell me in the chat bar that just like 70% of what you need to be done is done while you sleep? I mean, because the world's open, the world doesn't close when you go to bed. Someone's awake. You could order material. I don't care what industry you're in. You could order material. You could have PO orders. You could be sending out, collection letters. You could be sending out invoices through the night. You know what, Justin? Nobody's ever woke up in the morning, opened up a company and said, what? Ariella sent this email at 3:30. I'm not reading it. No, you know what they said? This email came to me at 3:30 in the morning. I'm taking it serious. You're at the top of the pecking order. So when you know how to do this, right? I agree. I had a feeling you did that before. When you understand how to do this, everything changes.